All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's short video, we're going to talk about scales. So stay tuned. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's talk about scales. I know it's a super exciting topic, right? Not. But scales play such a big role in our business that we should really think about it. So I don't think anyone's really talking about it because they are really hard to understand, and there's just so much to them that it's very complex. It's just all. I mean, I had a hard time understanding scales, and I was fortunate enough that when I first started working for the state of California, I was put in a position where I had to deal with scales on a daily basis. So understanding what's called the NIST Handbook 44 was very hard, and it's a good read. Oh, there's a fly. It's a good read if you want to get put to sleep, but it's something that I had to understand to do my job and do it well. So let's talk about scales. I'm going to just be really basic with the jargon, and hopefully you guys get a little bit more information from it. Scales, there's a couple different types of scales. So we can go back to the old school scales. You know, you're going to use a counterweight to kind of register the weight. So there's still a few of those out there. I know that San Bernardino County, at their office down there in San Bernardino, they actually still have a old truck scale that uses a counterbalance. So you drive onto a platform and there's somebody in a scale house that is shifting weights to get that accurate read. Those things are like dinosaurs. You'd never find them, but they are really accurate and they don't really go out of whack too much. And then you have the more modern type of scale that you're going to see at a grocery store, at a cannabis dispensary, just any type of location that is charging you by weight. So UPS, FedEx, things like that, Postal Annex. And then you're going to have truck scales. So this is going to be at your recycling center, your transfer station, your landfill, things like that. And these are going to be the more modern type of scale that uses load cells. So basically what a load cell is, it kind of looks like an S. I just drew that on there, so now you know what that is. And basically the way it registers weight is by the amount of strain that is put on there. So the higher the strain, the higher the output. On truck scales, these are going to be rated for 100, 120, 40, 150, 160, and upwards. So they're meant to handle big trucks, big weight, and typically they're going to have quadrants. So each segment is going to have a load cell on each corner, so 4 corners. And, the load cells do go bad, so they do need to get replaced every now and then. And that's just the nature of the beast. Technology, it goes down, and you have to replace them. But there's a couple different types of scales as well. So you're going to have a stationary where you're actually just driving on, parking, getting out. They're going to register the weight. Then they're going to have a moving scale or a rolling scale, which is actually taking the weight as you roll on, so you never have to stop. And then you're going to have kind of more like the CHP type of scales, like the more mobile scales, where they'll just bring them out and then you just drive your tire on there and get the weight. So they'll put them on the tires and register a weight like that. So a couple different scales. And all these scales, if they're being used in a commercial setting, they do need to be what's called NTEP certified. And like I said, that's NTEP. They have to have that certification in order to be used in a commercial setting. So typically there's going to be a sticker on there that says NTEP, and it's in big letters, NTEP. And those are the ones that can be used in a commercial setting. What's else? These scales, at least in Riverside County, are tested every 2 years. So they should have a new seal on top of the indicator. The indicator is the actual screen that gives you the output. So they typically, when they're tested, the weights and measures department is going to put a new seal on there, and they're going to initial it and put a date on there. So in Riverside County, they were being tested every 2 years. So pay attention to that. Make sure that they are being tested. And if they're not, go ahead and contact your local weights and measures department. That's what they're there for. And they're there to basically go make sure that these things are being regulated. So contact your local county weights and measures. If your county does not have a weights and measures department, because some don't in different states, contact your state Division of Measurement Standards or your state weights and measures department, and they can help you out with that. So here in California, it's called the Division of Measurement Standards, and there's multiple offices throughout the state, the closest one being out here in Anaheim. And other than that, there's personnel that are all throughout the state doing these things. So they're not just testing scales, but they're also testing fuel dispensers, CNG, LPG, hydrogen, a lot of different things. So make sure that you guys reach out to somebody if you think there's something fishy with a scale that you're using. Something that we do here at Heritage is we go to a CAT scale, so a truck stop, and we verify the empty weight of a truck, no container, and then we bring in a 10, a 15, a 20, a 30, and a 40-yard dumpster, so we understand what the weight is going to be of the truck and every dumpster. Now, when you start using a landfill, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to weigh your truck, give you a sticker, and say your truck weighs, let's say 10 tons. And then they're going to make you go dump, come back with your container, and basically give you the weight of that container. So for us, Riverside County gives us little decals like this. This would be for a 40, which is 2.25 tons. And we stick this onto the container. And basically they're telling us that that's what the weight is. So if you're, in this scenario, let's say 10 tons for the truck, 2.25 for the dumpster. We know that we're at 12.25 tons. So if we go in and we're at 15, we know we're at, basically 2.75. That's kind of how we keep track of these dump tickets and what we're dumping. We're just verifying that the information given to us is accurate. So how does this play into our business? So I'll give you a quick story about what happened to us twice. It wasn't just once, but twice. We went to a private transfer station. Jose's like my right-hand man, and he's super smart. And he understands what our empty weight is. He understands our container weight. So he went in, asked what the weight was going in. He dumped, came out, was like, what's the weight? And by that point, they had already charged his card. Because at this specific transfer station, they hold your credit card. So they charged it, and they told him what the weight was. And then let's just say whatever it is, he was over, or they told him he was over what he thought by a couple tons. And once he got the actual weight ticket and the card back, he questioned him. He was like, hey, I came in weighing this much. What I dumped wasn't that. Plus, the output weight is telling me that I should have been at this. Why are you charging me more money? So they had to do a quick little investigation. So after they went back and kind of fiddled all their paperwork and whatnot, they came back and said that they screwed up and they overcharged us. Not sure how that happens, because at this specific place, they're printing out some sort of ticket that tells them what the weight going in is. So ideally, they should just input what the weight coming out is, and the computer's going to register that for them. Don't know how it happened, but it's happened twice where we're overcharged and we've been able to catch it. It happened to Jose. It happened to me. Both of us understand this, and we called him out on it. So we've gotten money back. Now, if it's happened twice to us and we've been able to catch it, I'm just trying to figure out how many times that's happened to our drivers, or maybe just to everyone else using this location. Typically, we're in a hurry. Here's my credit card. License plate is X, Y, and Z. Go dump, come out. How much was it? 150, 200 through 400? Oh man, that's a heavy load. And then we drive off. We never question it. We really trust these locations to tell us exactly what we're dumping. So just do yourself a favor. Go to a CAT scale, verify your weight, then go to these places and then get told what your weight is. But question it. Question it if you're having that thought, because I know we have, and we've gotten money back. So that's always something. So these folks at the scale house, which is the little building next to the scales, if anyone is giving you a reading, they are what's called a weighmaster. So these are folks that are registered by the state as a weighmaster, and they are somebody for hire that reads or measures any type of commodity, gives you some sort of memorandum, so like a receipt for a type of service. So that's a weighmaster. It's somebody that is for hire that weighs or measures any commodity and gives you some sort of memorandum, which would be like a handwritten receipt or a printed receipt, something like that, for a service or commodity. And, you know, they're basically in this position and they're registered with the state as this position, basically stating that the readings that they're providing are accurate and the best to their ability. So they're not there to gain anything from it. But like I said, technology, scales, things happen, things go south. So just do yourself a favor and understand your weight. So if something is ever sketchy, you're able to question it. Maybe they're not trying to do it to gain something from it. Maybe it's just a honest mistake, but you know, do yourself a favor and question it. And two, understand your weight. All right, guys. So if you guys want to know more about fuels, watch the next video and I'll talk to you guys about 87, 89, 91, diesel number 2, B20, motor oils, antifreezes, and how all these things are tested. And yeah, we'll go from there. But I appreciate you guys watching this one. I know it's a very boring topic, but I really do think that just having a small understanding, and there's so much information on scales that I just don't want to bore you guys. But this was just a lame terms breakdown on it. And hopefully next time you can pay attention to your transfer station or anything like that. But if you guys have any questions, I do have a lot of connections here in the state of California. So if you're in the state of California, I can probably point you to the right person, whether it's a truck scale that needs to be tested, calibrated, or fuels, things like that, skimmers. Other than that, I am here to help anyone out. And like I said, I still work for the state, but just in a different capacity than when I first started. So, but if I can be of any service to any of you guys or give you a little bit better understanding, shoot me a message. I try to answer everyone, whether it's a phone call, text message, email, anything like that. So appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and on to the next one. Appreciate you guys.